Why we love aged Sheng Pu'er. In this video I will tell you what there is so special about the flavor of aged raw pu'er, pointing out the differences between fresh pu'er and aged pu'er, as well as between aged pu'er and any other tea. So let's start drinking an aged Sheng Pu'er. Hi guys, this is Gabriele from nannuoshan, where we share the pleasure of drinking and discovering genuine farm tea. And it is a very special tea that I have today in my gaiwan. If you're new here in our channel and you're also looking to expand your tea knowledge and brewing skills, then make sure to click on the subscribe button. And if you enjoy watching this video at any time, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. So, today we want to speak about aged Sheng Pu'er. There was already a video about the topic where I already explained which is the main reason why today there is such a hype about aged Sheng Pu'er. So you want to watch that before this one to understand a little bit better what I will talk about. But if you're only interested in the taste of Sheng Pu'er, just continue with this video, and at a certain point, if you don't really understand and cannot follow, go back and have a look at that one. So, what I want to tell about, first of all, in China, the tea that is drunk the most is green tea, and it is drunk because of its freshness. That's why people appreciate it. Pu'er, by contrast, has come to be valued because of the flavors it develops when it ages. Now, aging affects drastically the taste of a pu'er, actually of tea in general, but specifically of pu'er. And aging is a continuous process, right? So when you have a fresh pu'er, it's not either and then you age it. It's not that it remains fresh and then at a certain point it becomes aged, but you have a continuous and slow, very slow development of taste. So you cannot really distinguish simply between fresh and aged pu'er, but you have also to put there all the shades in between. I mean, to simplify things, you can at least think about three categories if you want. You can think about a fresh, very fresh pu'er, something in between 0 and 5 years, about a middle-aged pu'er between like 5 and 15 years of age, and then aged pu'er between 15 and maybe 30 years and more. Now, why such a wide range of time? Because it depends on the storage condition. You can have a very strong development of taste within just 5 years if the conditions are hot and humid, while in a very cold and dry environment, to achieve the same level of aging, you might need 3 times that time or even more. The tea that I have here, well, you see the color is very red. There is almost no yellow, no orange in it. This is a pu'er from the 80s, so it is almost as old as I am. It is between 30 and 40 years of age. And I've chosen this one because it is the tea that I have at home, that is the oldest, and also that has developed exactly the specific taste that I want to talk about. So I will get a little bit of inspiration from the tea. I first do a rinse, and then I continue drinking it. So, in fact, if you've seen the first video, you know what I'm talking about. Hong Kong and Taiwan, which is really the origin of the hype, would wait until pu'er is aged before they drink it. They don't really drink fresh pu'er. No one drank fresh pu'er until really recent years. And you know that what actually happened during the aging. Now, back in the days when the tea was transported along caravan roads, the taste was smoothed down relatively quickly, was changed relatively quickly because of the condition, of the weathering conditions, sunshine, rain, and so on. Now, what happened? It happened, and this is really the important concept, that the strong astringency and bitterness of a fresh pu'er will be smoothed down with aging. So, and the astringency is very important. In fact, you know that pu'er is made with the large leaf variety, and it is a particular astringent tea, and this astringency just transformed and became very smooth. Now, it is said that you cannot do pu'er with small leaf variety plants simply because they are not astringent enough to develop that mild, mellow taste that is so peculiar of aged pu'er. And I can tell you on this my personal experience. When I was in Yunnan for the first time 10 years ago, I bought at that time a pu'er that was 4 years ago, 4 years old at that time. And actually it was 4 years old, but it was stored in relatively dry conditions, so it was still extremely bitter. Yeah, I just bought it because I visited the shop, I drank some tea, it didn't cost much at that time, and so I simply just bought it. But it's not that I really liked that. It was extremely astringent, and I left it actually together with all my other pu'ers at home until recently I took it again and I tasted it again, and it changed it completely. Yeah, it didn't have any bitterness at all anymore, and have developed a very mellow taste. So another thing that you want to point out is that actually Chinese associate the fresh taste of green tea, but also fresh pu'er, with coolness, cold. So it has a cold taste and is irritating. In fact, try drinking half a liter of extremely fresh pu'er, and especially if you haven't eaten anything, you will feel it on your stomach. While an aged pu'er is more associated with a warming effect. It has a very strong earthy taste, and it is indeed very mellow. You really feel it in the throat. It is like oily viscose when it goes through, and it's very smooth in the throat. Yeah, so it's not only a taste that you have in your mouth, it actually you feel it almost while it goes down in your stomach. Speaking about freshness and aging, I recall actually a saying from the Qing dynasty, and in particular from the Emperor Cao, that were saying, longing for summer, pu'er for winter. And the pu'er they were talking about in the Qing dynasty were definitely an aged pu'er, because in Beijing they were not consuming fresh pu'er. Just by the time it took to bring it from Yunnan to Beijing was already aged under those conditions. So you see also that the Emperor Cao associated actually a fresh green tea, Longjing, as a tribute tea for summer, and pu'er, a warming tea, as a tribute tea for winter. So, having said this aspect about the astringency that become smoothness, you want to point out another important aspect of an aged pu'er that I start feeling now after I have been drinking this tea, and it is the aftertaste. So it is in particular for pu'er the Chinese have invented the wording huigan. Hui means return, and gan means is a way of saying sweetness. There are also other ways to say that, and huigan is the return of sweetness. What does it mean? It means that a tea that at the beginning is still a little bit aggressive and intense in your mouth, then develop in the aftertaste a sweetness. So there is a coming back of sweetness in your mouth. And this is another important aspect of pu'er. Huigan is not only an aspect that you have in pu'er, but is mostly related with pu'er. Another way that Chinese like to associate, just to give you a little bit more perspective into this, associate pu'er with other type of food in this case. They say that actually a raw pu'er tastes like raw rice, while a aged pu'er tastes like cooked rice. And in particular, they say that a very good aged pu'er tastes like a soup made with rice. So, of course, they have a different cuisine than the one we have here, but just to get into the mood and understanding a little bit the feeling that they are searching in the tea. And now, there is another aspect we have to talk about, and is aging. I told you before that if you age the tea in very humid and hot condition, humidity is not the only important thing. I will tell you more maybe in another video, but if you have a cool temperature and a very high humidity, that doesn't help. You need also temperature. And this is because you have to distinguish between relative humidity and absolute humidity, but it is a topic for another video. Let's say for today that you have a very hot and humid environment, then the tea will age very quickly. But if you have a cool environment and dry, like the one where I live here right now, the pu'er never ages basically. And now, what do you expect? Do you expect that after 5 years, having been stored in a wet and humid environment, in a wet, humid and hot environment, it develops the same taste than in a dry and cold environment would develop in 15 years maybe? This is not the case. So when you accelerate the process, you change also the way the pu'er ages. In particular, a dry storage results in a mellow, earthy taste, a dry, earthy taste. While if you have a wet storage, the result is rather a taste that reminds you of a herbal medicine, in particular Chinese medicine, smell to it, and also it has a moldy taste most of the time, and sometimes it even has some camphor in it. So it is a completely different taste, and you don't have moldiness in a tea that has been stored in a relatively dry environment. It's a matter of taste. There are people that prefer the wet storage, others that prefer the dry storage. Hong Kongese prefer definitely the wet storage because they are the one they've been growing with. Me personally, I don't like wet storage. I think that the moldiness that gets into the tea is something that comes too much from the environment, and I don't like that moldy taste. I still want, even in an aged pu'er, to feel the taste of the pu'er itself. So, and now we come to those of you that have just started with pu'er or with tea in general. You have tried different pu'er, and when you have tried a raw pu'er, it was kind of too stimulating, let's say, so it was too much, maybe too bitter, too stimulating. And then you have tried an aged one, and for you it was like too earthy and too moldy. So you were disappointed. Everyone likes pu'er and you don't. Well, don't be disappointed. I mean, I'm not saying to give up, but be loyal to your taste. You don't have to hurry up things. I can guarantee you, if you keep on drinking pu'er and tea in general at high level, especially with other friends that help you appreciating the characteristic of pu'er, with time you will get there. It doesn't have to be tomorrow, just leave time to tea and to your passion to develop. It will come at a certain point, right? And at the very end, you don't really have to like it. You know, there are also people that don't like pu'er, and it's perfectly fine. There is so much tea there that you can definitely find the tea you like. All right, I will continue now drinking my tea alone. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe our channel if you haven't done it yet, and please give us a thumbs up. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye, guys.